Hello, everybody. Welcome to the show. I don't know if you can hear me or if I sound like shit or whatever. Um, we'll see how this plays out as I do it, as I watch my microphone levels decline as I speak. I do not know what the problem is with this damn mic. This whole setup. It didn't used to do this stuff, and now it does. I wonder if I reduce this like that. Maybe that will help. Maybe not. Trying to get this to where the sound comes across clearly. I don't know. I don't know what the problem is. I wish I did. I may have to ask AI, see if it can help me troubleshoot this. Well, I'm back online. I'm back home. I've had our vacation. That's where I've been for a while, and that's why I haven't been online, done any videos or anything else for a while. So here I am. So about the vacation. The vacation was good. We had a good time. Everybody, for the most part, had a good time on the trip. But let's just go through it. So we get on the boat. Nice sunny day. Get on there. It's nice and warm. We got to spend time at the pool that first day. Set sail. Have a day at sea. And that first day at sea, just about except for like the last hour and a half of the afternoon, it was cold and windy and cloudy. So you didn't really spend a lot of time at the pool, which kind of sucks when you're going on a cruise in a tropical area. You know what I mean? And that kind of sucks. So we persevered. We go to Mazatlan. Well, no, sorry. We went to my goodness. First, we went to Cabo San Lucas. After we got to Cabo San Lucas, there was a hurricane south of us. We never were in the hurricane or anything like that. But the effects of the hurricane, the ocean, those effects carry on a long ways, right? And so the effects of the hurricane essentially made it very difficult for us to take the tender boats. So in Cabo San Lucas, they don't have a pier where the ship can moor to. So you have to take a tender, which is basically a smaller boat, and that smaller boat takes you across to Cabo San Lucas. Well, the waves were way too high for the tender boats. And I think it was mostly because they were worried about how high the waves were going to get in the evening, not when we got there. So bringing people back to the ship was going to be a problem. So we weren't able to get off at Cabo San Lucas. And that was disappointing. And then, after that, we went on to Mazatlan the next day. But that whole day at sea, when we were supposed to be at Cabo, cloudy, cold, no time at the pool. Then we get to Mazatlan, and while we were at Mazatlan, it was very nice, sunny, warm, exactly what you'd expect in a Mexican vacation, right? A sunny, warm day. We went shopping for a little bit. Got my wife some earrings. We went over to a hotel resort and spent the day at their pool. The lunch at the pool was meh at best. But we got drinks too. There was a beach. The pool was really nice. We had a good time. So anyway, I'm getting reports back that people aren't going to be able to join the show today, which is fine. Um, I'm going to do this thing today, and I obviously have to work on my microphone because I don't know why it's not working properly. So, whatever. And hopefully the gang will be able to join me next week. So that's why I decided I will tell my story about my cruise. And so, anyway, Mazatlan was great. Had a good time. Went on to Puerto Vallarta, which is my wife's happy place. She wasn't too happy about the place this time, though. That's not true. She enjoyed her time there. However, we had an excursion that involved a hike. And man, that was one hell of a frickin' hike. I ain't even lying. We had to climb up the side of a mountain. I mean, it was like this. I'm not even lying. It was like this. You see my hand here? Like almost straight up and down. It wasn't straight up and down. It wasn't mountain climbing. We didn't have to use our hands. But it was as steep as it could have possibly been without using our hands. I'm telling you. So that's where, that's how it went. And man, my wife was not happy. She was not happy. But once we got to the top, they had a bus there. We got on the bus, started going to a little tequila distillery, and the wheels on the bus slid a little bit as we were making our way down the side of the mountain. Scared my wife again. So we go in, get to the tequila dispensary, and the wife asks the tour guide asks, hey, would you like something to drink? A lemonade, a Coca-Cola? And my wife looks at me, she goes, I need a shot of tequila. And they filled her up a full shot, man. And my wife threw that sucker back like professional, man. I mean, and the tour conductor was completely shocked that my wife could drink tequila like that. It was pretty funny. So we went through the tequila presentation, and we ended up buying a bottle of reposada, and then went on, had the lunch. The lunch there was really good. It was really good, especially compared to the one we had the day before at Mazatlan. And then so we did that, and we went on, and then they had a really nice pool. We spent the day in the pool, got back on the bus, went down the mountain. That second part going down the mountain wasn't nearly as bad as the first part going down the mountain, but yeah, there were treacherous moments. We got pulled over by Policia on the way to there too. I forgot to mention that. It always makes me laugh. We got pulled over by the police, with our Mexican driver, driving a bus full of Americans. It was funny. He didn't get in any trouble that I know of, and we went on about our tour, and anyways, it was all pretty good except for the hike up the side of a mountain. My goodness. My goodness gracious. But we made it. And so, and that was, the temperature in Puerto Vallarta was probably 90, 95 degrees, maybe even 100. Get back on the boat to take it back north, 2 days on the sea, in the Pacific Ocean, in the tropics, on our way back to Los Angeles. And I swear to you, as soon as we got back on that boat, it was immediately cold, cloudy, and windy for 2 straight days on the boat. We got like exactly 0 pool time on the way back. And the boat was fine. It was a smaller boat than I had been on with Royal Caribbean before. The one I had been on before was Harmony of the Seas, which was, at one point in time, was the largest cruise ship in the world. And this was on Navigator of the Seas, which is an older cruise ship. But it had been renovated, remodeled, and just recently, like in 2019 or something. But it's much smaller, right? When we were on Harmony, I didn't feel like we had had enough time to fully explore the whole ship. But when you have 4 sea days on a ship the size of Navigator, very quickly you have seen it all, done most everything you wanted to do, and that last sea day got really long. It got really boring. And I mean, we still have fun. I mean, you're with your family, with your wife, with your kids, with your parents, with your brothers and friends and aunts and uncles, like the whole 9 yards. We had all kinds of family there. Had a great time with the family. But I'm looking at this more as a critique of the cruise itself, not the amount. You make the best of it. You make the fun that you're going to have, right? You don't necessarily need the boat to let you have a good time. So we had a good time. That's not to be disputed in any way. However, Royal Caribbean has decided going into next year that they are going to take their big cruise ships like Harmony and others in that Oasis class and Icon class, I believe, and they're going to sail them on short trips, 3-4 night trips, to entice new cruisers with their best ships to come back for more cruises. But if you're going to turn around after putting somebody on Harmony for 3 or 4 days, and then you put them on Navigator of the Seas or one of the other Navigator, one of their other Navigator's other sister ships in that class, and you give them more sea days, they're going to feel like, I'm sorry, I feel like I would have liked to have had the smaller ship on the shorter cruise and the bigger ship on the longer cruise. When I have more days at sea, I want to be on the bigger ship that has more things to do. And that was not possible. So I don't know what, Royal Caribbean's going to do about this, but I definitely think it's a problem. I don't think it's a good thing. So we shall see how that plays out. All in all, like I said, it was a good time. After we got off the boat, we went over to what am I thinking of? The USS Iowa battleship. That was really cool. So we got to tour the USS Iowa battleship. It was decommissioned right there in the Long Beach port, right next to our cruise ship. And so we got to check that out, and that was fun. Got to take the kids on it. They got to see some good old World War II history, homeschool hours, holla. So it was a great vacation, no doubt about it. A fantastic vacation. But at the end of the day, I really question whether or not this idea of putting those big, nice ships on short cruises is going to be. I think if somebody gets on one of those smaller ships for a longer cruise, you're not going to meet expectations. That's what I think. And from a personal point of view on a business, it's important to set proper expectations and live up to those expectations. Nothing can be worse for your company than people feeling like you did not meet the expectations. It's better to set the expectations lower and then exceed those expectations far and away than it is to set the expectations high and then underperform those expectations. And when you put your best ships forward on smaller cruises and then you convince people to take a lesser ship on a bigger cruise, I think you're going to have people who are going to end up being kind of disappointed. That's just my 2 cents. the impression I got after being on the cruise ship. But like I said, we did have a great time. Met some great people. Had a lot of fun with the family, and so it was all good in that regard. But I definitely think there's an issue as it relates to um, the business model that Royal Caribbean is planning on rolling out over the next year. So, with that being said, I don't have a whole lot else to talk about today. Everybody else wasn't able to make it onto the show today, so we'll probably just wrap it up there. I need to still work on this microphone thing, apparently, because it's not exactly how it should be. So I'm going to see if I can't take some time to figure out what the hell is going on with that. And then from there, hey, we'll be back next week. We'll do the business roundtable next week again. Hopefully everybody will be able to make it, and we'll have a good show. So with that, I'm going to let you guys go. Oh, next week I'll also have end of the month monthly reflections, so we'll do that too. And yeah, I guess that's it. I will look forward to seeing everybody next. I'm going to be posting these up too, but on the channel, we've got a lot of new videos that are going up. My son has been making videos for the YouTube channel, and they've been really pretty freaking good so far. So I encourage you to go over to the Livin Life N Style YouTube channel and check those out. So if you have any travel needs, give me a call, 816-744-1405. That's 816-744-1405. Or find me on the web at livinlifeandstyle.com. Have a great week, everybody, and we will see you next week.